been talking so much I actually drooled on my keyboard.
That's gross. Killing noobs and taking lives is the name of the game as we discuss Cyrodiil in greater detail. We'll be covering social functions, keeps, towns, quests, lootable caves, ruins, siege weapons, rankings, rewards, and more.
PvP.
Yeah, PvP. Hashtag.
HumanOverclock, how you doing, man? What you been up to?
I have been scouring the internet looking for information on The Witcher 3. So I've been trying to crush out Witcher 2 this past week. I haven't gotten very far. I've been busy packing my bags and stuff.
I hear ya.
Yeah, I'm going to be moving real soon.
That's always good.
Yeah, new location, new setup, less distractions, more output.
And nice, maybe we can get a video out every week.
Yeah. So what you been doing this week?
I've actually been catching up on BioShock.
Oh, really?
Yeah, since, I got BioShock Infinite sitting here, I really want to play it, but I still have to finish 2. So
yeah. Let me just say, BioShock Infinite is awesome. I'm playing it through for the second time on 1999 mode. Sweet. Really hard.
You ever finished Tomb Raider?
No, I started it, and it feels like Uncharted. When you're climbing up the plane in the beginning of it, I don't want to give it too much away if you haven't played it. I know you played it, all the way through already?
Yeah. Beat it twice.
Twice.
Yeah, I had to.
Heck yeah.
It was a good game. I mean, I'm not going to say it's very memorable, but I would say Uncharted still takes the cake.
So what are we talking about tonight? PvP.
Oh, yeah. I've been waiting for this.
This has been a long time coming, actually.
And there's a lot to cover.
Talking about Elder Scrolls Online PvP, let's start off with Cyrodiil.
The only PvP in the game.
So PvP in Cyrodiil is going to consist of the 3 factions, the Aldmeri Dominion, the Daggerfall Covenant, and the Ebonheart Pact. They're going to be fighting for control over Cyrodiil, the central province of Tamriel. The victor will be rewarded with unlocking the Imperial City, which offers the chance to fight Molag Bal's Daedric forces and allow players in their faction to become Emperor of Tamriel. So I'm assuming that this is going to be an instanced dungeon?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So it's going to be the only raid in the entire game?
Well, we just learned last night that there was more raiding.
I'm talking more like instance raids, more than like Zerg.
I'm not sure how it's going to work out, so I figured it's going to be faction instance where your faction is the only one allowed.
You're the only one that's going to be allowed in there, or are other factions going to be able to come in and try to stop you while you're doing this?
No, I'm sure you're going to have full reign. The person with the highest points will be rewarded as the emperor.
Okay, so people won't be able to just pick an emperor. It will be who does the best in the war.
Yeah, who will accumulate more points.
Cyrodiil will be an open-world PvP environment. Players can go anywhere in the environment, and you will be able to kill each other no matter where you are, except for the starting zone. For when you come into Cyrodiil, you'll have a little safe zone.
So that's pretty much just your main entrance zone into Cyrodiil.
Okay. Cyrodiil is a replica of the landmass from the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. It's slightly larger, and most of the ruins that were in Oblivion are active keeps and active temples and different dungeons that are all over Cyrodiil.
Yeah, it's actually cool that they pay attention to detail in having the ruin that was in Oblivion is active in ESO. If you find and you enter in one of these dungeons and you're at the last boss,
I'm going to be able to come in there and wipe you out.
Exactly.
Sweet.
So I think that's pretty cool.
So what I'm wondering is, why is it slightly larger? What's the reason for that?
I think it has to do a lot of stuff. Becoming an MMO now, they had to split up the land masses and make everything sort of equal, choke points, things like that. I'm sure there's going to be, slight changes.
Yeah, I'm sure in Oblivion it wasn't made to be a PvP area, and they sort of had to make it like that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they had to accommodate the idea of 3 factions, big war, PvP. So I'm sure they had to change up some stuff, make it bigger.
So there's 8 cities scattered around Cyrodiil, and they serve as repeatable quest hubs and a good source of PvP warfare among the factions. These cities are Anvil, Breville, Bruma, Gavach, Coral, Leywin, Skingrad, and Shadenhall. And if you didn't know, Shadenhall was the home of the Dark Brotherhood.
That's my home.
Yes, I know. That was my favorite. And I remember visiting all these places when I was a young tot, playing Oblivion a couple years ago.
You just call yourself a young tot?
Yeah. I'm so glad that they're sticking with this and making it feel like you're actually there, because I grew attached to Oblivion. It became one of my all-time favorite games and still is one of my all-time favorite games. And to be able to go and visit these and it's like, oh, I've been there, that's going to feel really cool. And especially now you're going to be able to share that with your friends. You're going to be able to kill the other factions with your friends in these places that you loved so much from when you were playing the game originally. Cyrodiil will be an instance area, which will allow for approximately 2,000 players. The instances are called campaigns. Players can change campaigns by spending alliance points or gold. This is going to be kind of hard to do.
What do you mean hard to do?
As big as Cyrodiil is, and if they're making it even bigger, is 2,000 people going to be enough?
I don't think it is.
I know they say that they've already overshot 200 people on screen at one time. It's stable.
Right, yeah.
Not necessarily how many people are on screen at one time, but can they make more than just 2,000 people? Reason being is because everybody wants to play together. And this is like one war, and this is one super mega server, and you're going to want to play and get to know the people.
The way it's going now, if it's set at 2K players, then there's going to be a lot of campaigns to choose from. I think it should be upped to have more.
My main concern is whether or not guilds will be able to stay together and join the same campaign. Will it be locked out? Will you have to wait in a queue to get in if it is locked out and your guild is in there and you're not able to help?
The only reason why we are discussing this is because, I mean, if you're going to have 1 million people playing, most likely at launch there's going to be 1 million people.
Yeah.
Splitting up a campaign with 2,000 players, that's going to be a lot of campaigns to be running at once.
And in my opinion, they will be filled quickly. Well, I'm hoping the social functions come into play. Like in the PvE environments, your faction's leveling zones, you're going to be grouped with people that play like you. But in PvP, I like diversity.
Yeah.
And now I'm sure they might go a little bit over, but for stability of the server, I don't know.
I'm not going to get into the technical aspect of what servers and how big, because...
Yeah, because I don't know how a mega server actually works. It's kind of crazy.
So
they haven't given really a whole lot of detail on the mega server and exactly how it crunches the numbers, which I wish they would, because I'm interested in that. 1 million players on one server?
Yeah, if anybody knows, leave a comment.
So there's not going to be any set amount of time for these campaigns.
On Elder Scrolls Online's main website, the posting of a conflict in Cyrodiil, Part 1, they said think months, not days or weeks.
I hope they last 6 months.
Yeah, it could, until it's reset or how the system's going to work.
Yeah, the 30-day war doesn't really stick in my mind.
Remember those Altered Valley wars that when it was first released that lasted days?
Yeah, but the size of this place is definitely a lot bigger than that was.
Oh, hell yeah. And so players will be able to enter Cyrodiil at level 10 if they wish. Lead PvP designer Brian Wheeler says players will receive a battle leveling, which will boost your base stats such as health, stamina, and magicka up to level 50. But players will only be able to retain their current spells and abilities, so you're not going to gain any more than that, than what you've already acquired. So Zenimax Studios gives this handicap to players so they can participate early in the Cyrodiil conflict. Brian Wheeler even says at level 10 can still take on a level 50 if they're off their game.
So if I was with a raiding group of level 10s, I could kill a bunch of level 50s.
Yeah, pretty much.
That takes me back to what I wished was in World of Warcraft. I remember there was this guy that was kind of a dick. I wanted to join his server and kill him, and I remember you telling me it's like, no, it's not like you can take them on because they're a lot more powerful than you. I says, well, what if it's a bunch of us lobies? No, they're still going to be more powerful than you because you're not going to be able to hit them as hard. This feeds me the cake that I want to eat.
I have to agree.
Yeah, this is a dream come true for PvP in my eyes, especially open world PvP. Like, say I'm in a town and I come across a level 50, I'm going to run my ass off to go find some more level 10s. Be like, guys, we're going to kill this guy.
Be there with you, man.
That's only 2 of us. But I'll probably be the level 50 that's picking on the level 10 personally.
Oh, you're one of those people.
Depends on my mood.
They did enter the PvP zone, so fair game.
Yeah, exactly.
Players will be able to earn both loyalty points and armor for participating in different activities in Cyrodiil, consisting of both PvP and PvE.
That is definitely true. Not only will there be the war, but there will also be all the repeatable quests, all the gathering, and everything else that you can pretty much do out in the regular leveling zones, you can do in Cyrodiil.
You have to be looking over your shoulder.
And that's what I want.
Yeah.
I kind of, me personally, want to jump in at level 10 and level up that way. Or at least one character I want to level completely in Cyrodiil.
Oh, yeah.
And see how long it takes me.
My first character probably will not leave Cyrodiil. They'll just be leveling and killing people. So
Actually, you're singing a different story from when we first heard about this.
Yeah, I actually was, because I really wanted to actually experience the PvE area. But since there's going to be PvE in Cyrodiil anyways, I'd rather do it the way I like to play, you know, looking over my shoulder. You come across other faction people and, you know, your hand starts twitching and you want to attack them. I love that.
Yeah, I like running up on a group of 100 players stark naked and they just crush me.
Make sure you make a video about that.
I definitely will.
It's funny because someone left in the comments they want to run around naked, I think in the last video.
You probably stole that idea from me and told Brad. I know who that was. Thundercats, if you're listening, it's on.
Alright, so jump into actually getting into the social functions, how we're actually assigned these campaigns.
Yeah, I think we should talk about that a little bit.
So off the bat, players will be appointed a Cyrodiil campaign.
So you won't just go and pick one, you'll be appointed one.
Right.
Okay.
And there's a lot of factors that determine which one you're appointed to, like campaign population, if it's almost filled, your guild, and your alliance.
Okay.
Let's say if your guild is fighting in campaign A and you've been fighting in campaign B, you'll be able to use alliance points or gold, which to that campaign and fight with them. From my understanding, if the game is smart enough, these social functions that the game has, it usually should put you with your guild. But if you switched your guild and you've been fighting in A, now your new guild's fighting in B, I'm sure you might have to pay to change.
Yeah, that would make sense. Also, going back to the whole 2,000 player limit, making sure that you are playing with your guild. Still kind of iffy about that. So every faction in Cyrodiil is going to start with a certain number of keeps assigned to them, and they'll have to conquer and defend these keeps in order to earn points towards their faction. And this helps your faction unlock the ability to enter the Imperial City. There's about 20 keeps in total in Cyrodiil.
That's a lot of keeps.
Ooh, that's a lot of keeps. From what I've watched in videos, they will add more keeps if they feel that they need to. But for right now, they're only sticking with the base number of around 20.
Okay.
I'm not sure the exact numbers. They said it's about 20 keeps, and that's what I'm going with.
I mean, people have to realize that things like this, we do a lot of research, and, you know, the game's in beta. Things will be changing. Nothing we're saying is set in stone till the release.
I'm kind of hoping for changes because I don't think it's exactly what they want just yet. I've seen information change already.
Oh yeah, like recently with the rating, a lot of people thought that there wasn't going to be any rating. DOS's definition of rating is a little bit different than what we consider rating, so
yeah,
they say rating will be in the game.
We'll definitely be going into details on rating in our upcoming videos, but they listen to the fans, they do change things, and I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah, I'm just glad they're listening.
The main activity in the war is going to be conquering and defending keeps. And conquering and defending keeps will depend on resources that players will spend on objectives that aid them in their cause. Siege weapons, scaling walls, and brute force are ways to conquer a keep. Reinforcing walls, hot oil, and manpower are ways to defend a keep. I've just heard all these different ways being mentioned as a way that you can break into the keep or defend the keep. In order to actually conquer the keep, you'll have to flip a banner with your team's sigil on it. You stand near the banners, the more people around the banners,
like the faster it goes up.
Right.
So it's all about proximity.
Yes, you have to be near those holes. So you're not going to have to kill any bosses to take these keeps. You're not going to have to do any major objectives to take these keeps. You're just going to have to break in and take them. So when a keep is conquered, the keep will retain its current condition. So all the walls that you break down trying to get into the keep, when you flip that banner, it won't reset all those walls. You'll actually have to spend resources in order to fix those walls.
Love that.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge immersion into PvP. And especially trying to rebuild the keep. Let's say if you take the keep and one team comes up behind you and is getting ready to take it from you while you're trying to rebuild all your defenses. That's going to be on the edge excitement.
Oh yeah. Once you take it, you got to defend it. That scenario. That's pretty cool.
Now I'm hoping there's going to be like timers for having to rebuild the walls. So it's not just instant. Like I spend this certain amount of points and instantly a wall appears. A building timer.
Dark Age of Camelot was instant. Everything switched over to you. The wall switched over to brand new. You had to break down the gate, and once you took the key, the door was back up at full HP.
So this is definitely going to be quite a bit different than that then.
Yeah.
See, seems like it's going to pose a much greater challenge.
Guild Wars 2 was similar like this. If they take what they did in Guild Wars 2, where you had to bring in resources, gather them up, one player can only carry so much.
Yeah.
So you'd have to have like a group of players go get resources.
So let's take a second to talk about these resources that were in Guild Wars 2. What kind of resources were there?
It's like wood.
Oh, like you actually carried this stuff in your bags?
Yeah, you would pick it up from a camp and you would take it in.
Oh, okay.
I think there was also caravans too.
Like supply lines that they talk about.
Yeah.
ESO.
Mm-hmm.
So once the keep is conquered, a way shrine is added that lets you travel from keep to keep in your faction's control, but only if they're connected to another landmass you have control of. Now, if a keep or its supply lines are under attack, then the ability to use the way shrine to that keep is disrupted. Another thing I also heard was that the ability to fast travel to a way shrine from anywhere, but you'll only be able to do it once every so often, like there'll be a timer on it. Now, I don't know if this is going to actually pertain to Cyrodiil or if this is just for PvE zones, but it's something to think about. So if you're in a guild, you'll be able to claim control of keeps, upgrade its defenses, and customize the placement and role of NPC guards, and also receive notification that that keep is under attack if you're in that guild. So you'll be able to actually put your banner up from your guild and hold that keep. That's something I want to be a part of.
Yeah, I mean, think about just the rivalries that are going to be made just by holding a keep and another guild wants. You know, just from that, it's going to be huge.
This actually makes me think of Eve. Let's say there's a really nice resource that's coming out of one of these caves over here, you know, for like mining, and you want to hold the keep next to the best resources.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's going to be different resources like that, but especially if you're just holding it for a strategic position on the map.
Yeah.
That's cutting another faction off. That's great.
Yeah, the closest one to their border.
Yeah.
They know you're not playing today. So even if a faction wins the war, the factions will still retain the keeps and the land that they've already acquired. Nothing resets except the point system that starts a new war. So let's talk a little bit about the PvE part.
Okay, so towns will provide repeatable quests for earning gold and experience. Factions that control the nearest keep will have guards that patrol the streets.
So if I'm from a different faction and I've got my favorite set of repeatable quests that I like to do to earn some gold, and if another faction owns the keeps around there, I'll have to contend with not only the players from that faction that are doing quests there, but also with their guards.
A lot of wars just over that type of stuff.
I can see a lot of people wanting to control these keeps around the town specifically for that function.
Depending on how many there are, if the quests are specific to that section of Cyrodiil or their uniqueness. Yeah. Also, guild quests from the Fighters and Mages Guild will be located in Cyrodiil. Finishing the quest will increase your reputation with the guild. For example, books scattered across Cyrodiil will pertain to the Mages Guild. Dark Inkers are going to be in Cyrodiil also for the Fighters Guild.
So not just out in
like the PvE
zones.
Right.
Yeah, I remember going through these towns, and this is probably another point of controlling keeps around the towns, is that these towns have guild halls for the Mages Guild and the Fighters Guilds.
Okay, so they're going to have presence there.
Yeah.
Caves, crumbling towers, and alien ruins are scattered across the landscape in Cyrodiil. Valuable treasures can be found in these ruins and caves. These places are usually protected by brigands or other enemies. Ruins and caves will not be instants. Players can come in, like you mentioned before, and kill you.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to finding out what kind of treasures these places hold, because I remember in Oblivion when I went after the Mehrunes dagger that it was found in some Ayleid ruins, and from what I remember, Ayleid ruins are pretty massive. So not only is there going to be a massive above ground Cyrodiil, but there's going to be a pretty massive below ground Cyrodiil.
Something to get lost in and just PvP in those too.
Yeah, exactly. There's even role-playing PvPers.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Role players may even be able to hold their special guild halls down in these Ayleid ruins. I've heard of some PvP role players that actually have a certain spot on the map that they held their meetings at and stuff like that.
Yeah, role players are a unique bunch, man. Yeah, not big role players, but they do play their game in their own way. You know, I respect that.
I've tried to roleplay. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah, but talking about you running around naked in PvP, so I don't know what kind of role-playing you were doing.
I wasn't role-playing.
Oh, you weren't role-playing then?
No, I was role-playing PvP.
Real quick, talk about, it's not much, but siege weapons. We know there's catapults from the videos. Not sure if there's, called ballisticas.
Battery rams, anything like that.
Right. But, I'm sure there's going to be. I'm probably about 90% sure there's going to be stuff like that. And the cool thing is they'll be craftable and customizable, so players will be able to make this. Probably will fall into your PvP skill tree.
You will have options in your skill tree to upgrade your siege weaponry. You will be able to make your siege weaponry better, which could give you the ability to fire a super shot or switch out ammo quicker.
Okay, nice.
From what I read in the Conflict of Cyrodiil Part 1 on the ElderScrollsOnline.com, that they will be discussing siege weapons in Part 2. So we will have more information once that becomes available. Yeah. So in Cyrodiil, you'll be able to earn ranks for your players. Players will earn alliance points through PvP in Cyrodiil by killing players and winning objectives. An accumulative amount of alliance points will increase your rank. Players will also earn gold, experience, and buffs based on their alliance's performance. There's over 20 alliance ranks so far in the game, and that number is subject to change. Players can also spend their alliance points on weapons, armor, and advancements in several skill lines specific to Cyrodiil. Skill lines will help you become a more powerful fighter, a greater leader, or an expert in warfare.
A great leader, that actually makes me wonder
what's going to be in that skill tree.
Yeah, will I be able to communicate to more people in Cyrodiil? You know what I mean? How will it make me a better leader as a player?
That's a good question. So if you were a player in Cyrodiil and you wanted to increase your leadership, what kind of skills do you think that you would like to have?
The only thing I could think of is more functionality in my chat system. To talk to more people. Yeah, I'm not sure.
I just have to wait and see. Your rank and other players' ranks will be displayed next to your nameplates.
Yes.
I know what you're going to say. Sing it, brother.
I'm so happy we'll be able to see other people's names above their heads. Why Guild Wars took a step back in that direction, I don't know.
I'm going to put a minor threat in the video right here. That if you take away my nameplate above my head and I don't know who the heck I'm killing, I'm not going to play this game. Simple as that.
You believe in that deeply, huh?
Yes.
Understandable.
If I can't build a rivalry, and that is my biggest objective in PvP, is I like small warfare.
A lot of trash talking happens on forums, and if you're into that type of stuff, you're gonna want to know who you're killing or has killed you 10 times in a row. And when you do kill them after the 10 times, you can talk smack, like, ha.
In a gaming environment, I like to talk trash. I can't help it, man.
Especially in a PvP setting.
I'm better than you, and I want you to know it.
I'm mad at you for killing me, and I want to let you know it.
Exactly. You think your buddies can come, take over my keep? Really?
Exactly. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Real quick, getting to the end here, crafting tables will be located in safe zones within Cyrodiil, out of harm of enemy players, so that's pretty nice. You'll be able to concentrate on crafting without having someone jump you from behind.
I don't know if I like this.
What's that?
I want to sneak up on somebody and kill them while they're crafting something. It's like, you think you're all alone here. I'm stealthed out.
Me, I don't care either way.
I hear you.
This other thing I heard about stealth, just wanted to add, since we're in PvP, everybody will have the ability to use stealth. Players are going to be invisible until detected, and once detected, a shadowed outline of the player will be seen, and players will be removed from stealth once they're attacked or take damage.
See, I'm wondering how the detection is going to work. You, as a player, how are you going to detect another player? Or are we just talking about maybe guards that you place inside your keeps or stuff like that?
No, it's going to be player-based. If you get too close or you walk through a player, I'm sure it's depends on your level of stealth, how good it is.
When you sneak up behind somebody and you get too close, you could hear
you might hear something or see their shimmer.
Similar to the way it is in Skyrim.
Yeah, exactly. And the cool thing about this, I remember in Dark Age of Camelot, the ability to scale walls as a nightshade.
Now, how did you do that in Dark Age of Camelot?
It was an ability.
Did you have a rope that you climbed up, or was it like claws on your hands or something like that, or could you just climb the rubble?
No, that's a good question. I don't remember if you needed something on your hands equipped to do it.
Honey,
suction cups. We were able to climb the wall and wreak havoc up on top.
I want to be the person on the other side of the wall that blows you back off.
Say you want to be a Dragon Knight. You might have a grappling hook that you'll throw up.
Like the Fiery Reach, the chain that you throw out, you may be able to use that to snatch the top of the wall and pull yourself up or something like that.
Probably something similar.
Okay. Now, Now, talking about scaling the walls, in the Alliance's cinematic trailer that we saw on Elder Scrolls Online.com, if you notice Queen Arian
using the ropes.
Using the rope to climb up. Yeah,
well, just like that, you'll be able to climb wall.
So what I'm wondering is, if you're able to use, say, ropes or anything else while you're climbing, are you able to cast spells while climbing?
I don't know. I'm wondering if you're going to be able to do it while you're stealth.
That would add a whole nother sneakiness to the game. Prepare your hot oil. Awesome, man. I am looking forward to actually playing PvP in this game.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a fresh aspect of PvP in MMOs. Not only is there going to be the war, not only is there going to be all these PvP scenarios that build up, but there's also going to be like open world PvP that builds up and all these sub-wars going on in caves, in towns. That's what I'm looking forward to.
And other factions' entrances to Cyrodiil. Yeah.
Holding them at their lines.
It'd be nice. One quick thing, I know this is always a hot topic, and Zenimax has really had open ears to what the fans and players want, is the idea of having PvP out in the leveling zones. How do you feel about that?
I think it's optional. The social functions that are in the game that let you choose whether or not you want to be playing with this type of person or this is the kind of person you are, I think there's that option. And I don't see why there can't be. If they can incorporate it in Cyrodiil, how would they not be able to incorporate it outside of Cyrodiil?
You know me, give me PvP everywhere. If you want to have structured PvP, go right ahead. I understand that, some people just don't want to have PvP out in the leveling zones. And I totally understand.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I mean, there's always been different types of shards and stuff like that for that.
Me personally, I would love to be able to have that looking over my shoulder type of gameplay. I don't mind being ganked. I think it adds to the game. I'm not a person that goes out and kills lobies, if I'm a higher level, by any means. But having that option to be able to turn on PvP or to decide that you don't want it, if you go in the zone, you can flip it on or turn it off.
Opt in for that type of gameplay.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I always have it on, but it's just something that, a lot of people are talking about on forums.
It would kind of limit my gameplay if it's not there, because like we talked about earlier, I would want to spend more time in Cyrodiil because it's an option there, and I am able to level there with the option of PvP. Yeah. But I'm not going to be experiencing a whole lot of the other game because I am a PvP player. And I know they talked about with the faction lock thing, you're not able to experience the whole game. And I think this is another wall that we need to push past, because I know I'm not the only one, and I know you're not the only one that likes PvP mixed in with their PvE.
Right.
Another thing that comes to mind is, I know that in the launching of the game, there's not going to be battlegrounds, there will not be arenas, but that is subject to change. I know in an interview that I watched with Brian Wheeler, he did say that if after the launch of the game, people still decide that they want battlegrounds, that they will add them.
I can deal with that. Me, I'm more of a competitive player.
Yeah.
And I do like arena type stuff. I like duels.
Yeah. Speaking of duels,
I haven't read anything about there being duels in the game, so Arena did the scale and balancing issues with PvE versus PvP, and it just didn't flow right for a lot of years between the two.
Yeah.
But I still like that competitive play that you're able to do. Then you can always say that it's going to take away from Cyrodiil.
I do know that in Cyrodiil, there's going to be a lot to do.
Yeah.
So it's going to keep you busy for a while.
Oh, definitely.
Probably for a good year or more before you are tired of it, done experiencing it, and ready for more.
Yeah, and by that time, an expansion will probably be out, add some more content.
And that's the time I can see Battlegrounds or even arenas coming about. Yeah. Let us know what you guys think about unrestricted PvP out in the PvE zones.
So what are we talking about next on Off the Tongue?
PvE.
Awesome.
And we might even talk about how we got our name for our series. This has been RatzCast. Thank you guys for watching. Please leave a comment in the section below. Please click the like and subscribe button. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
All hail the champion of Cyrodiil.